Who is ready for spring? I know we are. We've had some days that have been a little chilly, but today it's actually warming up outside.
It's almost 70.
Yes.
And then it'll drop down to 30 in a couple of days.
It might. But we are ready for spring. We are ready for carrots and bright colors and tulips. And I know the buttercups are possibly starting to come out already in some places because the buttercups think it's spring here in the South right now. And we are going to get started with a wonderful video today. I'm Jen.
I'm David.
We're with David Christophers, and we try to come to you every week with a new idea to inspire you to get creative. And hopefully you will enjoy this video today, learn a few things, and create your own beautiful wreath at home.
So like Jen said, today we're going to be using some carrots, and I've got our carrot garland that I just pulled out of the box that's got these wired carrots, various sizes on it, so that you can shape these whatever way you want. And we're going to cheat, and instead of using 100 carrots on this wreath, we're going to use 1 carrot garland. So I'm going to dip that in the glue and get started. We're just going to slide that in. And then I've got a few small pieces of like 24 gauge wire that I've already cut. And I'm just going to use that to wire my garland onto my wreath. And I don't have to do it everywhere, just a few places will be sufficient. So as long as we kind of keep that going around, it'll be fine. And we'll always bend our carrots back out into the shape you want after we get this wired on. You don't have to worry about really shaping it first. We'll worry about that after the fact. Okay, so last piece in, and we end up with a little bit of a gap here. This is an 18-inch wreath, but we're just going to bend some of these carrots from the beginning back around, since we have several in that area. And then you can always use these little grapevine tendrils to attach some of your carrots if they want to spin on you a little bit or something. Or some of your wire if you really want to get OCD like me and make sure that those stay exactly where you want them to stay, but the wire holds them pretty well for the most part. And we're just going to separate all these carrots out so you can see them very well. You don't want to have a bunch of carrots on top of carrots because you won't be able to see the individual shapes and colors that you have there. And you can even use these little curly things that come with the carrot garland to attach if you want to secure something as well. Those work really well for adding a little additional support if you need it. So like right here, where my big carrot's trying to weight this down, I can just go into my grapevine wreath and pull that around and wire that however you choose to. I over pulled it out a little bit, but it won't matter because we're going to have most of that anyway. And there we go. We've got carrots on our wreath, and that didn't take very long at all. You could just double up a couple of carrot garlands and be pretty much done with this, but we're going to keep adding some other things. And one of the things that works really well with orange is our yellow tulips. So I'm going to be using yellow tulips for this. And this is a really inexpensive tulip stem. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but it's like $2, something along those lines. And we're gonna get a little bit of that bright green color from the leaf. And we're just going to work our way around this garland. So we're going to, should have used one of my little pieces here. Tie that up. And I'm going to work a little bit inside, outside. You don't want to put all of the tulips in the same, I consider it kind of like the rings of the wreath. You don't want them all in the center or all on the outside. You want to mix that up so that they're a little more natural. They don't look like they were placed in a perfectly straight line. Just a tag on one. And I did use wire that wasn't wrapped to wire the garland onto my wreath, but don't worry, we're going to use a little bit of eucalyptus pick to hide that, so that won't show. And we're using a few tulip stems on this particular wreath, so it's a good thing they're well priced. This one would get expensive pretty quick if they were not. And if you are looking to buy some tulip stems or carrot garland, we do sell wholesale and retail. So you can go online and to davidchristopher's.com, click wholesale or retail, and it will get you into our website to see what the tulip stems are actually priced at, since I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how much they are. So we got tulips going pretty much all the way around. I feel like I've got a little gap up here at the top, so I'm going to fill one in there. And maybe one more. And I think that will get me to 12 total pieces. But the foliage really does hide part of the wreath, and the tulip stems really provide that really good pop of yellow color. And then we're going to use our eucalyptus bush. This is our 13-inch eucalyptus bush. And I'm going to cut those pieces off. And it just leaves you with a little wire, and I usually bend that wire around so that I can glue those in to the wreath without any danger of them falling out. This is one of our most popular greenery options. It's got a nice green color, but it does have a frosted material on it so that it's got that powdery kind of look like a natural eucalyptus would have. And we're just going to work kind of our way in between the tulips that we already used. So we had a little bit of that brown in the wreath. I don't mind a little bit of it showing because it really works well. Gives it a little more natural feel because carrots, come from the ground. They could have a little brown on them if you haven't washed them yet. You probably wouldn't wash them if you're putting them in your grapevine wreath. So you're gonna need another one, or maybe two.
So how many of the eucalyptus bushes are you using?
Well, I actually think I need a third one, but I only brought two over here. If you could grab me one off of that table behind you.
Sure.
Just in case I need it. I think I will.
And for anybody that's new to our channel, David and I normally are doing other things during the day. We actually, like you said, have wholesale and retail businesses. So YouTube is just something we kind of do for you all so you can learn how we use our products. We don't have a studio. We don't have a lot of fancy equipment. And we don't have a lot of time usually to put toward it. That'd be awesome if that's all we had to do every day. But because we don't, we do appreciate those of you who always leave encouragement and comment and let us know how much you learn from the video, how much you like the video. But sometimes you're going to hear trains or squeaky floorboards in our video, or sometimes David slams his box cutter.
I was doing so great.
I mean, his wire cutters down. He said he was going to keep them in his pockets this time, but
did, except for that last time.
You were doing great, and then you forgot.
I did.
So, but this is looking really nice. I like it. We use an electric skillet with glue chips. If anybody wonders, what is he dipping all these things in?
Yeah, because we go, you know, when you're trying to do these really fast, you don't have time to sit there with a glue gun and try to glue gun things into place. Right. And I find I burn myself more with a glue gun than I do with a big skillet full of 10 pounds of glue. So.
How are the eucalyptus bushes coated?
They're coated
what is that
with,
finish?
I can't remember exactly what the material is, but it's just a powder coating that it's like a talcum powder kind of substance.
Okay. So if you receive the eucalyptus bushes, they are made like that. They look like they have a little powder.
They're supposed to be, and that's what makes them one of our more popular options, is it's supposed to have that really powder coated kind of look to it. And it may come off on your hands a little bit.
Yeah, it gets a little bit on your hands, but
wash it off.
It's part of it. It's not no defect.
No.
So this is the finished wreath. You could add a bow, a burlap bow, or a yellow bow, or even an orange bow, or maybe even a bow that has carrots on it. But David is going to put together a garland that coordinates with this, so stay tuned.
So we've got another one of our carrot garlands here. I've just been kind of fluffing it out a little bit, shaping it so that I separate all the carrots. And then what we're going to do to this is we're going to make a garland out of it. And I'm going to use some of our light green clematis spray. And I'm just going to attach that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay that underneath our carrot garland. And we're going to use a little piece of wire. And we're going to wire those two main stems together. It's important to do the main stems. If you don't do that, then they may get a little weak on you sometimes. Like you'll be hanging your clematis piece back just a little bit, or you'll pull one of the carrots off because you didn't get the main stem. And we'll just do that in a couple places. And I'm just cutting a little bit of the excess wire off from where I twisted it together, just like a twist tie. And then we're going to add another piece. So you could do this, and we're only using this shorter carrot garland. I want to say it's 48 inches. But you can just keep adding carrot garlands and clematis vines and whatever you choose to make it whatever look you desire. So if you want it to go over a sideboard, or you want it to go over your extra long dining room table, you can make it do that. Just keep adding to this, and it will go to any length you want it to go to. We have made some tremendously long garlands before. I'm going to make a ridiculously long clematis garland for, I think they were shooting some kind of local documentary or something, and they wanted a clematis garland to go over a stone wall or something a long time ago. And we had to make like 200 feet of clematis garland all in one piece. So you can make it whatever size you would like to make it. But for this demonstration, we're only making it roughly 48 inches. And this clematis vine is one of my favorite spring pieces. Works great for just adding that wispy foliage to really anything. Okay, so now we've added that, and what we want to do at this point is just kind of bend our clematis vines around, readjust our carrots so that we can see more of them and they don't get tucked behind all the clematis, and you don't want the clematis to overwhelm anything, but you do want some of it to kind of come up through the middle of your garland here. You don't want it all necessarily tucked behind, and it won't really matter incredibly because we're going to layer some more items on top of this. Like I said, you can add anything as much as you desire to make it any length or any thickness you like, but just keeping this really natural, that really wispy clematis style. And I'll wrap a little bit around the carrot just to get a little more structure. That way it, you can bend these up. Don't just leave them, extremely flat and boring. Use some of the sticker wire from the carrot garland and let them kind of like they're growing around the garland is what you're intending it to look like here. So you just take a little bit of the clematis and wrap it around some of that, some of the vine from the carrot garland, and that will give you your clematis a little bit more structure to stand up and be more three-dimensional. And then just adjust your carrots wherever you need them. So, got that. I'm going to cut this off on the stems at the end. I'm going to add some yellow just to go with our wreath here, similar. And I'm using this kind of an inexpensive stem because if we add tons and tons of products, we're going to make this super expensive. So I'm trying to make this a little more cost affordable for you. And we're just going to add a little bit of this in sparsely, kind of behind everything. So we get that yellow tucked in. But this is not going to be our main source of yellow, so we just need it kind of here and there, not all over the place. And we're just wiring on top of the garland we already built. Just be sure you try to get mostly just the main part of your stem, the carrot garland and the clematis vine in there. That keeps the other pieces loose and kind of free flowing. And the more you add, the harder it gets to find that main stem. Just keep that in mind. But it is important that you try to find that main piece. So I just cut these off of this bush, things like that. And they're going to give us that nice blossom, early spring kind of feel to this. Okay, we've got that added. We're going to add just a little bit more yellow. I love these little wild sunflowers. They are very small. The colors work great for the spring, and I know a lot of people think of sunflowers as strictly fall, but in reality, they grow a little bit earlier than fall in a lot of places. And we use a lot of them for spring. They work great with lemons and things of that nature to add some more yellow. And that color just on this particular sunflower works great with our carrots and our other flower, this Tweedia flower we've got. And like I said, you're still trying to find that main stem. It's getting a little bit more complicated the more I add, but you can, if you get to that main stem, you can always go back and kind of readjust everything with your foliages over the top of the main stem to make sure that you hide all of the wire and mechanics where you've placed everything. So we've got a couple more of these to go. And this last stem is going to be a little too long because of where I have to place it. Laid my wire cutters down softly that time. And we're going to wire that one in. Okay, now that I've got those in, I'm going to readjust some of my pieces, turn some of these sunflowers different directions, pull my carrots back into place. But these work great for garland, and they work really well for, you can hang these over a mailbox or, lots of different things. These running down dining room tables are fun if you put little clay pots in them and, do different things. You can put some fresh foliages in, but these are just a lot of fun. And then I'm going to add some ribbon to this one and we'll be about done. So we're going to use this brownish, brown cream, textured, kind of a burlapish looking ribbon because I think it really makes it feel a little bit more natural. And we've got so much bright color in there already that I'm just going to tone that down a bit by adding this burlap. And I'm going to start at the end and we're going to tuck that into our garland with some wire. We're going to cut that. And then really what we're going to do is we're going to let this loop up. So you just want to give it a good 12 inches or 10 to 12 inches, something along those lines. And then we're going to add a piece of wire to attach it where you want it to go. And that makes it look like the ribbon is woven through your garland. Everywhere it's kind of tucked into place, you want to hide that a little bit. Just so nobody can kind of see how you put it in there. That's part of the magic. You want to hide all that. Make it very mysterious. It's how you attached your ribbon into your garland. you gotta pull some things out a little bit just so you can get a better angle on what you need. So I like to place it before I place it. I like to decide kind of where I'm going to put it before I wire it in. Sometimes I'm just too big a hurry. I just go wherever I want to go. And then we can cut this here. And we're going to cut out a little bow at the top. And if you want more tutorial how-to kind of things for bow making, we have a bow playlist, I believe, or a ribbon playlist of sorts that you can go to and look to see if that's what you're really interested in. You can find other YouTube videos that we have on our channel about how to make a bow. We're just going to tie something really quick here. Use a little wire. Or separate our bow out. And then attach our bow to our garland. And then I'm going to pull a couple of our carrots over the top a little bit into our bow. They were going to be pretty much hidden by the bow anyway, so if I add them into the bow, they just look more like they belong there. Okay. I'm going to fold my ribbon. I typically do fold it in half and then cut from the wired side. Wired ribbon is extremely handy. I do recommend you buy a good quality wired ribbon. And then we got our garland. It gets a little bit of that brown from that burlap so that it goes really well with our grapevine wreath. And that's a little bit darker brown, still gives you that natural kind of coloration to it. And you can kind of, like I'm playing with it just a little bit, you can adjust things as you want. But you can make this any length you really want it to be. And, you know, might have to find a place where I can make one of these to go over an arched front door or something along those lines this season. So now I've gotten my garland hanging vertically, I can add this last sunflower into the top where I've got a little bit of yellow missing. I ended up with some carrots up there, but not really any of my sunflowers. So I'm going to work a little to get some of that yellow and the green colors up there into my bow. But now I can put my sunflowers almost into my bow. A little bit. I've still got the carrots up here. And that way they just look a little more woven in. They're great for if you have like tall, narrow double doors. Sometimes we'll make little swags, kind of like garland, just to put there. Sometimes it's much faster to use it as a garland rather than to try to build a swag out of birch branches or some things like that. And we'll use this for, like I said, if you have a really long door or you have double narrow doors, these work really great because if you don't have a lot of width, You don't need it to expand out very far, but they work great for things like that. Or you can take the bow out and just weave your ribbon through and leave ends on it. And you can use that for a mantle. You can use that for mailboxes or buffet tables, or even long dining room tables work great for that.
And there you have it, 2 great ideas for this spring season for your home, your door, outdoor or indoor. And just to note, most of our florals can be used outdoors. You will always get fading from the sun with any kind of plastic materials or fabric materials, so keep that in mind. But if you ever have a question about whether something will hold up or not before you order, you can always send us a message on one of our social media channels, or you can email us, and all that information will be in the description of this video, as well as a link to all the items that we used today to make shopping super easy for you. And we've also kind of started a new thing where we link these products in the YouTube video. So a lot of times they show up underneath the video, the tulips, the garland, everything that you need. So it's super simple to order. If you ever have any questions, we're always just an email or phone call away. We really take a lot of care and pride in taking care of our customers. So if you need something, we're here. If you don't get great service, let us know about it because we want to fix it.
We will take care.
Yeah, sometimes mistakes happen. Emails are missed. They go to junk, or phone calls are, not returned because they were missed, and people are human. So please be patient with us, but then also know that we care and we want to make sure you get a great experience, and we'll do whatever it takes to try to get the situation resolved for you. You don't always get that in the world today, unfortunately.
We try to do what we say we're going to do.
Yes.
As much as possible.
Right. But if you like this video, please subscribe. Please leave us a comment and let us know if you think you might try either one of these this spring. We always love to hear about your creative projects. And make sure that you turn that notification bell on in your settings so that you know when we post a new video, you don't miss anything. And until next time, we hope you have a wonderful weekend and a fabulous next week. Bye!